Hey all, my name's Lefty and today I'm shooting a video in front of my vacuum cleaner. Today's video is called What is an Empath? Now there is a common misconception that an empath is somebody who has lots of empathy for other people. That's not so much true, even though they usually are empathetic people. An empath is somebody who can literally feel other people's feelings and emotions. Empaths don't so much listen to what people say as they feel what these people are communicating. They can feel when people are being inauthentic. They can feel when people are not happy. They can feel when somebody has internal conflict. And before an empath understands who they are and that they are an empath, quite often they think that these feelings that they're feeling are theirs, but it's actually other people's. So in saying that, it is very important for empaths to have alone time so they can get in tune with who they are. One of the main ways that an empath can control or take their power back with all these emotional things is by really understanding their energy, their thoughts and their feelings, so that when something else comes in, they can go, oh, that's not me. And saying that empaths need time alone, they also can find it quite overwhelming being in crowds. Empaths are usually people who are introverted but also can be quite charming, and they are fun to be around, but being around other people, lots of other people for any great length of time can leave them really drained, because this constant feeling of emotions gets to the point where it's so overwhelming that it's like your energy just drops. Another important thing to note is that when an empath is unaware of who they are, they can quite often deal with a lot of mental health issues because it is very confusing, and they're also people who are just sensitive. A lot of overly sensitive people are empaths because they can feel these things so much deeper, and they find it really difficult to ignore their feelings. So it's like this constant barrage when strong emotions are happening that invades their thoughts, because what you feel sort of, you try to justify that with your thoughts. Why am I feeling this way? So you're overthinking. Empaths can be real overthinkers as well, and then that leads to brain exhaustion, which leads to, just like if you were to sprint everywhere, eventually your legs would break down or you would begin to get really tired and just fall down. That can happen with your brain too, if your brain's just constantly going all the time. So empath sensitivity can leave them very vulnerable, and because of their vulnerable and sensitive nature, they can become prime targets for bullies and abusers. Although empaths have the ability to read other people's feelings, if they don't believe in themselves, they won't trust their instincts, and they will take a lot of blame for their situation or the people who are mistreating them into themselves. So as I was saying before, it's very important to have that alone time and really know who you are and build your self-confidence and self-belief. Otherwise, other people can just run over you, because empaths are naturally people pleasers, because if you can make other people happy, then you're not feeling their negative feelings. So it's like empaths are the people who give too much. They give too much of themselves. They want to help all the time. They want to make other people happy because it makes them feel better, and the situation feels a lot more comfortable for them if everybody is happy. And when there is somebody who has a toxic way of being, or they're a narcissist, there's no way that empath is going to get through that, but it becomes this thing of, I have to keep this person happy, I have to keep this person happy, I have to keep this person happy all the time, because when they're not happy, oh my god, it feels horrible. And that's where the whole thing about empaths having to protect their energy comes in. You have to sort of be able to, you have to learn how to protect your energy and keep other people's energy out. And if people around you are not good for your mental health, you have to learn how to say no and push them away and move on with your life in another direction. It's not mean, it's what you are doing for your mental health and your sanity. So in order for an empath to have peace, their environment is very important. So they will despise conflict. They will despise others' discomfort. An empath will be able to handle their own discomfort because their own feelings are something that they can work through. Causing other people mental discomfort is not healthy for an empath, because they carry that discomfort with them, and they have to learn how to transmute that negative energy into something positive, but that again can be very, very draining. Now, because empath can feel other people's feelings, they can also feel the things that those other people are not dealing with in themselves. They can feel when somebody has traumas that they're not facing. They can feel when somebody doesn't love themselves. They can feel when somebody has anger issues or is very confrontational, or somebody who has things within themselves that they need to work out. In this way, empaths are natural healers because they can sort of get into somebody's mind and help them work through these things, which means that they are powerful mirrors for other people, meaning that they reflect a person's emotional state back onto them. Empaths can be hard to be around for people who have a lot of internal baggage, because when they talk to them, even if the empath doesn't realize it or not, they're taking on that person's energy, reflecting it back to them. And that's why a lot of empaths get bullied at school. It's nothing so much that they're doing, it's just that bullies are generally people who have a lot of anger issues and insecurities from the way that they've raised or things that they've experienced in their lives, and they don't want to face those things. But when an empath comes along, they see this mirror for them, and then they just attack because they're seeing what they hate about themselves and other people, and they don't want to face it themselves, and they don't want to face it in the real world. And an empath can force somebody to face the shit that they don't want to see. So it is very important for an empath to understand the effect they can have on other people and understand that they do have power. They have abilities. They can feel other people's energy. They can reflect other people's energy. They can feel when people are being inauthentic. So they have to understand how their energy can affect others in order to protect themselves and deal with icky situations. I know I make it sound like being an empath is really hard, and it can be. Generally is for empaths for the first part of their lives, because they're unaware and they're learning who they are, and let's face it, like, not many people talk about this in society. Like, it's not even a thing that people are aware of. And then as they get older, they sort of start to figure out who they are. They start to reflect on their lives and see everything they've been through, and then understand how energy works, and understand that, oh, this person didn't like me because they didn't like themselves. You sort of understand how people's minds work. And then a lot of empaths will go into mental health fields, or they will be therapists, or they will be social workers, people that want to help other people because they have this unique ability to do that. And it's beautiful and it's amazing, and it's something I'm really interested in. I've thrown my hat into that ring quite a few times with offering to help other people. You know, I'm not an expert. I don't have the degrees or anything, but I feel like I'm a good person to talk to. If somebody has an issue that is way bigger than I could possibly comprehend, I always recommend they seek out a professional. But a lot of times people just need somebody to talk to. And I understand a lot of mental stress and mental suffering, because I've been through it myself. Most empaths have. As I said, like, when you're unaware, these feelings can be overwhelming, and you have to really figure it out to be able to find your balance and stay true to who you are. Anyway, I hope that helps people. Have an amazing day. See ya.